Hello friends, today we are going to start a new chapter of class 11th, redox reaction. Redox reaction, a reaction in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. This redox word is made up of two different terms. The first part of this word, red, stands for reduction, and the next part of this word, OX, stands for oxidation. So the word redox, it is actually a fused word of reduction and oxidation, and a reaction in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. Such kind of reaction is called as redox reaction. It has been observed by various scientists that if we carry out an experiment, suppose if we dip a zinc rod in a container containing the aqueous solution of copper sulfate. This is an aqueous solution of copper sulfate. The color of this solution is blue, and we dip a zinc rod into this blue colored aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Aqueous solution of sulfate. We observe, means the various scientists observe that when we dip zinc rod into the blue colored aqueous solution of copper sulfate, then it has been observed that the blue color of the solution gets fade away with time. Means after some time the blue color goes and it converts into a colorless solution. And the second observation of this experiment is that there is a deposition of brown colored substance or particles over the surface of zinc rod. And both these observations could be summarized on the board this way. The blue colored aqueous solution of copper sulfate is reacted with zinc rod, and we observe that blue colored solution is converted into colorless solution of zinc sulfate. Zinc sulfate means ZnSO4. And the second observation is that there is a deposition of brown colored particles over the surface of the zinc rod, means a reddish brown metallic copper. Brown colored substance is what? Metallic copper. This metallic copper is deposited over the surface of zinc rod, So the two observations was drawn from this experiment, and this experiment could be briefly written in the form of a chemical equation. Zinc rod in the solid form reacts with copper sulfate aqueous solution and forms zinc sulfate aqueous solution plus copper. The copper is metallic brown in color, reddish brown. This is reddish brown. We should write the color of this metallic copper, reddish brown metallic copper, and this color, the color of zinc sulfate is colorless. This is colorless solution, and copper sulfate is blue in color. This was the observation from this experiment. It means that zinc and copper are actively participating in this reaction. The zinc in this reaction is converted into zinc ion, Zn2 positive ion. And how it will convert? It will convert by losing 2 electrons. On the other hand, the copper ion, this copper is present in the form of ion, because copper is Cu2 positive and sulfate is 2 negative. Both these are joined with the help of an ionic bond. So copper ion accepts 2 electrons, is accepting 2 electron given by the zinc ion and takes up the electrons given up by zinc and forms copper, solid copper. So solid copper is formed. That's why we get reddish brown color. And because sulfate is present in both the sides of this reaction, we conclude that sulfate is not participating in this particular reaction. The zinc is giving up the electrons, 2 electrons are given up by the zinc, and this is also called as de-electronation. And this process, we can call it, taking up the electron, is called as electronation. So this process could be called as electronation. So in this reaction, we observe there is de-electronation and electronation are taking place simultaneously. Now this de-electronation process, can you tell me what is this process called, de-electronation? De-electronation process is actually called as oxidation process. And electronation process is called as reduction. We will write here oxidation. Oxidation is a process of loss of electrons. The process of de-electronation, this process is called as oxidation. And reduction process is a process of gain of electrons. Process of gain of electron. Or we can call it electronation. The process of electronation is called as reduction. And we are all familiar with the terms oxidizing agent and reducing agent. So in this reaction, we observe that zinc is losing 2 electrons, is undergoing the process of oxidation. And copper is accepting the electrons, gaining the electron. Hence we call this process as the reduction process. So copper ion is converted into the solid copper, by the process of reduction. and zinc is converted into zinc ion by the process of oxidation, by the process of de-electronation. And the substance which undergoes oxidation, that substance is called as reducing agent. Reducing agent is one which reduces others but itself gets oxidized. Let me write this reaction once again. What is happening? Zinc is converted into zinc ion with the process of loss of electron, is undergoing the process of oxidation, and the copper ion is accepting, is gaining the electron and converted into solid copper. This zinc is also in solid state. This process is called as reduction. And from this reaction we also need to understand two more terms, the oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent and reducing agent. And reducing agent. Reducing agent. The oxidizing agent is one. Oxidizing agent is one which oxidizes others. Which oxidizes others but itself gets reduced. The oxidizing agent is that. The oxidizing agent is one which oxidizes others but itself gets reduced. Oxidizes others. Oxidizes others but itself gets reduced. Itself gets reduced. Reduced means itself gets the process of reduction. Reduced means what? It undergoes process of reduction. So itself undergoes the process of reduction. Let me erase this. Undergoes the process of reduction. And on the other hand, reducing agent is one which reduces others. An agent which reduces others but itself gets oxidized. So reducing agent is one which reduces others. Reduces others but itself gets oxidized. Oxidized means undergoes oxidation. So we will write itself undergoes oxidation. And as we know, oxidation is the process of de-electronation. So we can write itself loses electrons. Itself loses electrons. And de-electronation, this process is called as de-electronation. Electronation. And on the other hand, reduce oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent undergoes reduction, means itself gains electrons. Gains electrons means what? itself it undergoes the process of electronation. Process of electronation. So in this reaction, can we tell you? Now in this reaction, can you tell me which is an oxidizing agent and which is a reducing agent? Reducing agent is one which reduces others but itself undergoes oxidizing agent. Reducing agent is one. Don't forget that reducing agent is one which reduces others but itself undergoes oxidation. Which one is undergoing oxidation? Yes, this one. So it is a reducing agent. We will call it a reducing agent. And this copper ion is undergoing the process of reduction. The agent, the substance which undergoes reduction is called as oxidizing agent. Here copper ion is gaining the electron, means undergoing the process of reduction. Reduction means electronation. So this copper ion is a oxidizing agent. It is an oxidizing agent because it is gaining the electron, undergoing reduction. So don't forget, oxidizing agent is one which oxidizes others but itself gets reduced, and reducing agent is one which reduces others but itself gets oxidized. This is oxidized. So always remember, oxidizing agent and reducing agent both are always present on left hand side of the arrow, left hand side of the chemical equation. Let us write this chemical equation once again. Copper sulfate aqueous plus zinc rod converting into zinc sulfate aqueous plus copper solid. Zinc is converting into zinc ion and forming zinc sulfate. The process of oxidation. This process is called as oxidation, and the agent which undergoes oxidation is reducing agent. We call it reducing agent. And on the other hand, simultaneously copper ion, this copper ion is gaining 2 electrons, undergoing the process of reduction, and this process of reduction is shown by oxidizing agent. The substance which undergoes reduction is oxidizing agent. So in this reaction, you can clearly see both oxidizing and reducing agent are present on the left hand side of the arrow. They are always present on the reactant side. So don't forget that oxidizing and reducing agent are the reactants. Note it down, take a screenshot.